welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you guys came over today to see another brand new video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lacey and I make videos all about what God is doing in my life on a daily basis. I could look back years down the road and know that I was changing and becoming a completely different person, but I didn't know all the details that he was working out. I could see these really big things, but I wanted to document day by day what God was doing and how he was changing me through just what I see. And if somebody said something to me, or if something just stuck out in my mind, like how I was changing as a person. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you see every time I upload a new video. So guys, I was filming for my other channel on Saturday. And I was filming like a clean with me, and I was kind of getting annoyed because my camera kept dying and I didn't know what was going on. So I could only clean for like 20 minutes and then I kept having to plug my camera in. Now, it sounds crazy now because it's like 2 days later, but I never got a chance because we went out with our friends that night and we all went out to dinner, and I never got a chance to sit down and tell you what God did. But let me tell you, like, he was there. So I kept having to come into like the office homeschool room, this room that I film in all the time, and plug in my camera. And I was getting super annoyed. Okay, I'll just wait. I'll plug this in for like an hour and then I'll go back and finish, right? And so I thought, you know what? Like, why don't you just sit down and like have some quiet time? Like, there's really nothing you can do if you want to film it, you know? Otherwise, you have to kind of forego that. So I thought, okay, sit down and I'll have some quiet time with the Lord. But it was like the middle of the day. This was like very unlike me. I do a couple different Bible studies and discipleship groups, but just on my own, I've been reading Luke. And I don't know why, because I'm not usually drawn straight to like a gospel, but I really felt like God was like, you need to read Luke. Now, who am I to go against that? So I said, all right. So I have been slowly reading like chapter by chapter the book of Luke. So there was this scripture in Luke chapter 8. In verse 3, it refers to these women. And it says something to the effect of that the women supported Jesus and his disciples with their own resources. So I read that and I kept reading it, and I mean, you know, we're all familiar with Gospels. You hear about these parables and you hear about stories. I was kind of took back by this. So the women were supporting Jesus and his disciples, is how I read this, with their resources. Meaning like their business, their money. That's what I assume this is what it's talking about. And they traveled with them, right? And there's a lot of different accounts of like business women in the Bible. So this isn't like a weird thing. It's just not talked about like all the time. Like the woman in Acts who owned a business doing like purple clothing and things like that. I'll put that scripture there. But it's only like 3 sentences. And like, I cannot wait to meet this woman in heaven because whew, like she sounds awesome. And it's 3 sentences. And so I feel like sometimes because the Bible was written in a different time to a different culture than what I'm living in at this moment in time, I have to be really mindful of what they would have put in and put out, I guess you could say, and what they would have thought was important and not important. And I could see why it would only be like a sentence and we could move on. But what I thought was so neat was that Jesus knew women were important. Jesus never wanted women to be oppressed. He knew that women were important. He knew that women were instrumental in so many other things. I mean, women were in the tomb. They were the first ones to figure out that Jesus wasn't raised from the dead. The first time Jesus called himself Jesus, he said to the Samaritan woman at the well. I mean, women were important to Jesus. And so I thought this was so neat that the women were using their resources to support and go with. I was just amazed by that. I thought, wow, like I think this is something that has been overlooked. And it made me want to just draw into more tiny verses like this, more tiny things in the Bible where you see women going all out and being with Jesus and making a difference for the kingdom. And I thought, even if I'm not getting this right, okay, because there is a huge chance that I'm not getting this right, that didn't even matter, because just the fact of like women were there, that they were there and walked next to him and saw him and trusted him and put faith in him, that is amazing to look at as a woman myself. To know that you are just as important as anyone else. It was like Jesus looked at people. He didn't look at genders. He didn't look at class or race or culture, hair color. He looked at people and he saw inside their heart. It made me think that women are so capable and we can do so much in the world that I cannot wait to get to heaven and see how much the kingdom is growing because of women like this. I can't wait to speak to these women. I can't wait to find out like how it was to walk with Jesus from these women, because this just seems amazing that they were contributing, that they were there. They must have had just tremendous faith. And so I just wanted to point out something that I saw, something that I didn't know was there before. And I hope that this message made sense. And I hope that somewhere in your brain it made you think or want to go and read or want to go and check it out for yourself. But women are important. And Jesus knew it, because he wouldn't have us walking right there beside him if we weren't. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And I will see you in another brand new video. Bye for now.